early on, it wasn't necessarily the most important thing to have the best match. It was the most important thing was to present that character the best way that I could, because that's what people were coming to see. They were coming to see that character.
All right. This episode is sponsored by Happy Dad. I think all of them are. But what flavor, Mark, we've got, what you want to start out here with? We've got lemon, lime, wild cherry, watermelon, and pineapple.
Let's go wild cherry.
Wild cherry?
Wild cherry.
That's watermelon. Of course, it's going to be the one on the bottom.
Give me watermelon.
No, right here's wild cherry. There you go. I don't like, I'm not a fan of like artificially flavored watermelon.
I can't eat real watermelon. I love watermelon like candy. And
why don't you like real watermelon? Are you scared of it like you are cucumbers?
I'm not scared. Don't get me started.
Did you eat too much watermelon as a kid?
No, I don't like the flavor. I just don't like the taste of watermelon.
I'm just going to set this right here. Now that I'm an alcoholic again, after
you're going to crush a bunch of cans and put them around your
cans everywhere.
Move your monster before you kick it over.
Man, all right.
Let's wait till we get going. Then
no, we are going.
No, we're not.
We're recording right now.
Oh.
We're recording right now.
We're such professionals.
This is our ad right here. This is our ad, yeah.
So why you got to talk about me and my cucumber thing?
Hey, bro, I'm just saying. I know you're.
No, that ain't bro. That ain't no bro. No bro
I know you're
stuff.
Scared. I know you're scared.
I ain't scared of nothing.
All right, mine's pineapple. Yours is wild cherry.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Well, that's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the fruit punch better than I do the pineapple. But once again,
I like this cherry. This cherry's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Happy Dad, thank you very much. Hard seltzer. Check out Happy Dad wherever they sell alcohol, I guess. I think you can go on their website and they actually have a store locator if you want to get yourself
I knew
some.
if you hung out with me long enough, you'd start drinking again.
No. I think I took a shot with you the day you found out that you were getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. I took a shot with you at Hall of Fame weekend with that Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels.
Oh, that was good.
Ooh, son.
That was smooth.
I think what's hilarious is this. My brother brought that, and he was like, man, this right here, I got this Sinatra edition Jack Daniels for Mark. So he brings it up to the suite. You come up. Everybody, I mean, you've got the Godwins there and David Neal. You got all your buddies and everything. Mm-hmm. We all take a shot. And, you know, I'm not a drinker, but take a shot of it. I was like, whew, that right there, boy, that could get me in trouble. Kind of like these hard seltzer things, like this would get me in trouble, right? What I think is hilarious is my brother's like, man, that was an expensive bottle, man. I was like, whew. And then later on that night, you handed my brother a bottle of Pappy's. And you're like, hey, man, if you want this, you can have it. My brother was like, this does not compare to that bottle of Jack Daniels that I bought.
That's all relative.
But that's a testament to you. You're a Jack guy. You know, like, you don't see us have any other, like, alcohol up here. We've got a Jack Daniels bottle. When it comes to whiskey and bourbon, you're a Jack guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the one that I picked out the flavors for, and then they did Jack Daniels did a barrel for me, and then they send you the actual Jack Daniels in those bottles, and they've got special Dead Man Ink tags on them.
Yeah,
that's really, I tell you what, that's pretty damn smooth Jack. It really is.
And I had, you know what? And I had a drink of that. We were.
Yeah, I think there's a pattern starting.
I know.
I think you're a closet drinker now.
You know, yeah. Amy might be a little concerned about me coming out here shooting these podcasts. Like, wait a second.
Forget your way home.
You're going to get hammered every time you go to Austin now. That night was hilarious because it was post the foundation dinner for the Nine Line Foundation. And you had, and this was not the crazy, no Godfather. you had brought like a case of these, and you were like, "Hey, I'll sign a couple of them,
Right.
auction them off, whatever." What was hilarious was the guys that even make your Big Frig cups. The Big Frig cup, the like tumblers. The Big Frig guys are there. One of them ends up bidding on it. Man, I think he spent. I think it was almost about $5,000 or something like that. They paid a pretty penny to be able to get a bottle of yours signed and everything else, right?
It's for the vets.
Yes, for the vets. It was pretty cool. What was hilarious though was the dinner gets done, and we were all like, we told a handful of the guys that we know, we're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the Westin, and we're just gonna sit out back and smoke cigars and have drinks. We're not gonna go out or anything. If y'all want to come join." Well, it turned into essentially the boys showed up, right?
Yeah.
We got me and you and Andy Anderson and my brother and all that, and some of the big hitters. We had the Glock guys there and everything, right? And the guy that bought that bottle was sitting there. And I went, I know, like the bar shut down. And I went, shoot, I got 4 bottles of that Jack Daniels sitting in the truck. And I ran out there and I went and got like 2 bottles of it, right?
He spent $5,000.
Well, you're over there signing them for people. Just
Empty. They were all empty.
They were empty. But Andy Anderson took it to the head, but he took that bottle and he goes, "Anybody else want any?" And there was a decent amount left in it. And he turned it up. So,
but that's that's a pretty smooth. Barrel that we brewed up there. I sat down with the master distiller and picked out the woods and it was everything. It turned out pretty nice.
Yeah.
Obvious.
That's I'm in that area a lot, but I've never gone over to there.
It's actually worth. I'm not much of a take a tour guy, but it was pretty interesting. And then see the process and where they stack all the barrels and everything. It's pretty cool.
Did they show you the area that you paid for? Like, hey, this building right here.
This building here. We got this in the 90s. We paid for it in cash.
It's got a plaque out there. Sponsored by BSK.
BSK. This is the BSK building right here.
I sent during Christmas. I sent you and Godfather that picture of all the Jack Daniels barrels that were a Christmas tree that was in Savannah. Godfather's like, that's a thing of beauty
right there, man. Holy.
So speaking of being able to have yourself a nice drink, I would imagine old Cody Rhodes has been riding it high lately.
I would imagine he sent me a voicemail that night, the night that he won the title, and it was 3:49 a.m. I think, and I made out about half of it.
Good for him.
Good for him. I think he was. I believe he was having a good time that night. I do believe.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Yeah, he has come full circle. That's another one where I did not see. I didn't see him developing into the sports entertainer that he has become. Yeah. I mean, it's just another example of motivation and not being content with where you're at, and learning. You know, a lot of guys come in to WWE before they're ready.
Yeah.
And end up leaving unhappy. And I think, I'm pretty sure, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure that, he left this probably the same way, but my goodness, did he
with a little bit of a different fire though, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Man, did he figure things out? I mean, on both sides. I mean, from a marketing aspect, from the business aspect of it, to the connecting with his audience. He's not the same person that left.
No, he's not.
Nowhere close.
I think what he did building up, and helping kind of start AEW and stuff was really cool. I mean, I think on the business side, he probably learned a lot on that end. Him going back to the independents, I think probably helped him out a lot too, doing that run that he did in the independent circuit. I think it helped him not only in ring, but connected with fans and everything. I think sometimes, as his dad say, hard times, it's good for you, if you will. And one of the best matches I've ever watched was him versus Dustin a few years back.
You've said that many times.
Said it many times, and it was that match that if you're a young wrestler coming up, go watch it, because it had every element that pro wrestling should have in it, and they did a phenomenal job.
Do you think it was better than me and Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania?
No, there's no way.
Okay, I was just curious.
I think Dave Meltzer put that Giant Gonzalez match 6 stars, not even 5.
He went straight to
he went to 6 for only match ever.
He got 6 stars
to get 6 stars.
Yeah. I think probably got the 6 stars just because it finally ended. It was over.
Thank God this is done.
I'm gonna give him a star just for ending this
ending this misery that we're calling a match right now.
That was awful. I didn't mean to get off track there, but I just sometimes I wake up and have cold sweats because of that match.
Yeah. A little bit of booze will bring back.
I had a lot of booze in me before that match started.
But no. It's for the story that he did, and what I want to talk about is that becoming a champion versus chasing the belt, because it's 2 different roles that you got to play essentially for the company. It seems like he did a great job of chasing. He did one of the best jobs of chasing. He was able to help build the storyline. How many matches did he lose going, through this process to get there, right? Since he came back to WWE. The fact that he went into WrestleMania 39 and I think everyone thought odds on favorite, he's going to beat Roman.
Yep.
And the fact that they allowed that story to go a whole nother year and it stayed relevant.
Yep. Stayed hot. Yeah.
It stayed hot. Cody wins the belt for the first time ever. First Rhodes to win a WWE World Heavyweight Championship as well. Mm-hmm. What is his life like now? What changes when you become the champion as far as your schedule and your obligations?
Well, so he immediately becomes the face of the company.
Yep.
He is now the one that's doing the late night shows. He's the one that is the spokesman. I mean, life changes and he was already doing quite a bit of that kind of stuff as it was, but now it just exponentially
grows. Yeah.
His calendar definitely gets a lot fuller, and I think, knowing him and his connection with his audience, is he's going to work a lot because he wants to too, if that makes sense.
So he's not going to be a champion that, no offense to Roman, but Roman didn't have a lot of matches as champion.
Yeah, but that worked though. That was part of Roman's whole story too. Like he carried that air about him that you don't just get me. So
you think Cody is going to be a working champion?
I think he'll be a working champion. I think he's going to be a workhorse. Actually, I think he's going to defend the title a lot. I think he's going to defend it a lot. I don't know. I have your perspective. I have a fan's perspective now. But knowing Cody the way that I do and the way that he approaches things, I think he's going to be, and especially initially, he's going to be wanting to walk out there and show people why he's the world champion. And
with that being said, do you think there's going to be multiple storylines that happen with him over the next year? I mean, I can't fathom him losing the belt before, let's say they take the belt off of him. I don't think it happens other than WrestleMania next year. If he stays the champion the whole year, do you believe there's going to be multiple storylines leading into the multiple pay-per-views that we have coming up that he's going to be wrestling against multiple different people throughout the whole year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He'll have probably have 4 probably major storylines.
Yeah.
I would guess somewhere in that neighborhood. It just depends. You never know how something's going to take off.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times you'll go in a direction and then you'll make a quick left turn only to get right back to where you were at before. But I think he'll be busy. And man, his plate. There's so many people that make sense for him to work with too. You know, I mean,
we talked about how stacked the roster is.
yeah,
I mean,
the roster.
Throw a name out there and you go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, you know. And like you got Seth.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be one of the first things I would think. You got Seth. You're going to have Gunther. Yeah, Gunther. Yeah, I mean he lost. Obviously, he lost the Intercontinental belt, but that's the sign right there. It's time to move up a level.
Yep.
They had to get that off of him, so it puts him in a different situation. So, I mean,
you've got Randy Orton sitting over there.
Randy's still sitting there. You got. I mean, there's a whole.
And Roman's
list.
not going to sit on the bench either.
No, Roman, I think, is probably going to take a little bit of time off. I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that run that he had is really incredible. I think he's going to take some time off, and then no telling, where that goes. And you got, from what I understand, Brock is not completely out of the picture.
That's what Triple H said.
So yeah, I mean, there's some hurdles he's got ahead of him to get back to 41. So
yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see his journey. He was like you really. I was really impressed with you actually for a second, but you didn't give me a second enough to let you know that was a pretty thoughtful question as far as being champion and being the chaser.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have read that off somebody else's notes.
There's a lot of smart marks in the comments that are helping
is that
me
what
out.
you're doing?
Yeah.
You're going through the smart mark comments?
Yeah, this job's really easy. All I got to do is just read the comments.
Oh,
they tell me
right.
exactly what I should be saying and what I shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
But no, I know that. I know that being on the top of anything, being the best at anything, it's Ric Flair has said it. It's easy to get there. It's just hard to stay.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost been the opposite for Cody. It's been really hard to get there. I mean, he has, gosh, I mean, it felt like he was almost getting buried with some of the, the characters that he was having to portray and, that type of stuff. But he leaned into it. He did what he needed to do. And now he's come back with this American Nightmare that I think has, it's got a John Cena feel to it when it comes to the crowd. The kids are in love with it. He's got every kid eating out of the palm of his hand. The adults are into it.
Yeah, I don't know if Cena, because like Cena was hot and cold. Like it was crazy. Like one night you go out there, he'd get booed completely out of the building. Cena, yeah, he would get completely booed out of the building, and then the next night he'd be cheered like, and still selling more merch than anybody. But Cena was like, he was. When Stone Cold came along, and he's one of the ones that first made the anti-good guy.
Yeah.
That's when it all kind of started flipping around. Like if you're, you got to be a bad guy to be a good guy, kind of a deal. Or that may have started with me, but I don't count. I don't count me.
Some influence.
I don't count me. But anyway, but. Yeah, so you never knew with Cena, like whether he was going to get booed or cheered. Because they would break out crowds would break out. Like one side was like, we want Cena. On the other side, Cena sucks. You know, going back and forth.
You were getting that. That was happening at WrestleMania as well with that too. Like,
yeah. So Philadelphia. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, Cody. Well, and you're talking about, we were talking about being the chaser or the like his dad. Dusty was a great chaser.
Yep.
Right. He was always chasing Flair.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he won the title a couple of times, maybe. Right.
Yeah.
But he was always having to overcome the obstacles. Oh, you'd have to overcome the Horsemen. He'd have to overcome all these different things. He had to lose a loser leave town match.
Yeah. Try
to say that 3 times fast.
And with a few happy dads in.
Yeah, well, happy dads, you're screwing up my dialect here. But I always thought, as Dusty was a chaser. I was a chaser.
Oh, yeah. You were a better.
Yeah,
I mean, no offense. I mean, the chase for you was much better than being the holder.
It's just a lot of times, like my character was, I was such a dominant character. It's not like as champion. Like who the hell's going to beat him?
You were an Andre Giant of your time,
sort of. Yeah, but the thought was like, Undertaker's after the title. Whoa, what's gonna what's gonna happen? And then
because then the other part is once you get the belt, it's hard to get the belt off of a guy like yourself, right?
Exactly.
And it's like who do we have on the roster that makes sense to be able to beat an Undertaker?
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden now we got the streak going on at WrestleMania. We can't change titles at WrestleMania now, and it's like it can be tough there, right?
And then same thing carried over with me and Kane as tag team partners. You're like, who the hell's going to beat these guys?
Yeah,
right. So it'll be interesting to see because you're right. It was a phenomenal chase. I mean, all the stuff that he had to overcome and everything else, and it'll be interesting. It really will. But I think he has the, I think he has the intellect, and I think they have the, when you have obviously he has the support of the people. He's got the trust and support of creative. So I mean, we'll see.
I was going to ask this later, but since you just said that, the crowd's going to turn on him eventually. You know what I mean? Like it's
inevitable.
I mean, it's inevitable, right? Like we're going to turn on him. We're going to, because Cody does feel like the good guy. He's Dusty's kid. He's the perfect guy. He's the underdog that overcame and won. And now it's like
perfect heel.
The underdog story is over now. He's the only place he can go, in my opinion. He's going to be a babyface for a minute, but I see.
Yeah, you see the heel turn.
I see a heel turn eventually, because it's got to happen. I think it's got to happen if we want him to be a long reigning champion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they will. I don't know that he would switch as champion. I would see. I don't know. I mean, you don't know. I don't know what the approach would be there, but I think he would be a good. I think he would be a good heel.
I think he's got.
He's got heel qualities.
Yes.
He has. He gives me a heel vibe.
Yes.
Like he could. I could see him very easily being smug and better than that. Don't anybody get carried away. That's all work, but I can see it. Like I feel it in the character.
I think I could see him being the rich kid, I'm better than you persona.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy was Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
He was the son of a plumber, but I'm not. I'm the son of a champion. Mm-hmm. I changed things. He comes out. Cody he likes to wear the suits already.
Yeah. Well, and he could turn on his daddy.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Right? Son of a plumber. I'm wearing $4,000 suits.
Yeah, my daddy couldn't do what I did. My daddy could never win the
I'm
belt.
getting hot right now.
I did something my daddy couldn't do. Y'all love my daddy? Apparently you ain't watched Cody Rhodes. Like, that could be, and that's something that has legs for a 12-month storyline as well. You go with something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he could carry that for a long time with that type of flip. But right now, everyone fell in love with Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Because Cody Rhodes was the underdog. Cody Rhodes was the babyface. Cody Rhodes was fighting an entire bloodline, an entire family, not just Roman Reigns. And the story of my dad didn't win it. I'm going to win it for my dad. I'm going to win it for the Rhodes family. We could all get into that.
Yeah, you
we all
feel
loved
that.
it.
It resonated with everyone. Yeah.
What's next now?
Yeah.
How does that character and how does that story carry on with someone else? If he goes and works, let's just, as a placeholder, let's say it's a Gunther. How does that work with a Gunther?
Well, I mean, obviously, Gunther wants what he has now.
Mark, when we do these podcasts, we're here all day.
Yep.
And you know me, I get hungry. And when I get hungry, it's more of a hangry thing.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes having an entire meal isn't the easiest thing. So that's why I like First Form hooking us up with these beef sticks.
Yeah, and they're awesome, brother. And which one is this? This is barbecue? What is this?
This is the seasoned barbecue.
Yeah.
No MSGs, no nitrates, no 200 calories, 20 grams of protein.
20 grams of protein in that right there.
But here's the thing. What I like is the fact this isn't just a little piece of beef jerky. Oh, man, that's good.
It is good.
This is a lot. And
for you to say it's a lot.
this is really good. And for all of our fans out there, all the creatures of the night that are out there.
That's really good, man.
It really is, isn't it?
It's the first barbecue one I've had.
Well, you ate all the jalapeno cheddar ones or something like that they sent.
Yeah, and the breakfast burritos are good too.
They sent you breakfast burritos?
Meat sticks.
Breakfast burrito meat sticks?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had those.
Well, they don't anymore. not at my house anyway.
Thanks for not sharing. Honestly, I had no idea that they had breakfast burritos, meat sticks. But anyway, if our fans want to get some First Form, they can go to the description of this video and click on the link and buy themselves some First Form.
20 grams of protein right there.
They've got beef sticks, they've got supplements, they've got energy drinks, they've got anything and everything that you want over there. So
First Form, man, they got it. They got you covered. All your if you're into the in the fitness scene, man, they got you covered as far as their products. The protein's excellent.
Yeah.
The pre-workout is awesome. I swear by it. And if you need a quick meal, need a quick hit of protein, these beef sticks are kicking it, man.
Dude, these things are really good, actually.
They're real good.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, First Form. We appreciate it. And once again, Creatures of the Night, head down to the link in our description. Pick you up some products. Well, but I mean, how does Cody's character play against a guy like that? You know what I'm saying? It's really easy against a Roman Reigns, in my opinion, to be able to be that character.
Yeah, but the thing, I think with Cody, he's always going to be a little bit undersized, right?
So he can carry that underdog.
Oh yeah, he'll still be able to be. Yeah, he'll still be able to be the underdog. Even you got somebody like Gunther's a pretty big dude, pretty big guy, pretty aggressive guy, right? So I mean, I can just see Gunther, chopping the crap out of him and Cody caving it. It's just having to fight from underneath and fight for insurmountable odds. Because that title that he's fought so hard for the last 2 years is his now, and he don't want to give it up. So I mean,
and
it's all.
And Cody's very relatable. You look at Cody in the ring, you can see yourself, right? You can. Yeah. He's a guy that can look like just a guy walking down the street, really. I mean, like Drew McIntyre walks down the street, you go, holy dear God.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you see a Brock, you see a Roman Reigns, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they physically really stand out.
yeah.
Right.
Like Cody could put a hoodie on and walk through the mall. And, you know, he looks like an everyday guy for the most part, right? Super athletic and all that stuff, but I mean, just like a normal guy. So, yeah, I could see that underdog, like, that's me in the ring. He could play that character for a while against some of the roster as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what that's what it'll be. He'll be overmatched. He'll be overmatched physically, but this title means so much that he's willing to, dig down. And I think he's going to have he's going to have a really good. He's going to have a good run.
Is it almost like he needs to go home for a week and just sit down and mentally kind of switch things from being a guy that's not a champion to a champion? Is there like a thing where because you're going to change your promos, you're going to change the way you walk, you're going to change a lot of things about yourself.
Well, your mindset's now changed. Now, I mean, it goes back to your original question. Now I'm no longer the chaser. Now I'm the chasee, right?
Yeah.
And again, you got this stacked roster that these guys are going to be coming at me left and right. So, I don't know. You need a week. It's going to need 1 week episode, one show Raw to kind of set the table to what direction this is going. But I'm compelled just by the talent roster. That's things like I'd like to see that. I'd like to. I want to see where Gunther, how he gets to the next level, and I think I like that matchup. I like a Seth matchup. I like
an AJ Styles matchup, to be honest with you, because I think AJ Styles has one more run left in him.
I think AJ's got. He's so good.
I know.
He's so good. It's just a matter of what happens though. Sometimes is people just kind of get. They kind of become flavor of the week, and there's so much new talent coming in, and it's hard to keep yourself at the top of the page. It's just so difficult now because there's just so much content, there's so much turnaround. It's tough to stay. That's we talked about it a couple of weeks ago with Roman's run. I mean, it's. And I think, too, that kind of goes back to not putting yourself out there every week, which helped Roman.
Yeah.
Right? So, being able to be judicious with your appearances and make people mad, that was one of the key things, to make people mad. Like, dang, he doesn't defend the title. He doesn't do that.
It's just another part of being...
I'm the champ. I do what I want, when I want, how I want. That's what he told, right? This is my show. Right, I mean, it's good, and it worked, right? And you got Paul Heyman, who can cut the promos, and he can be there every week and piss people off because he's there and the champ's not, and piss them off in a good way. So as a fan now, it's exciting to see the different the different ways they can go with this.
Who do you think is in your opinion, who would you like to see, or who do you think is the right person to be that next opponent for Cody? What do you think is, and it's like, I know that we're both high on Gunther, and I would love to see that run. I think it's coming. But who do you think is the right person to be that first person for him to defend the title against right now?
That's a good question. For me, for some reason, I'd like for it to be Seth. It just
and
I don't know if that's right. I don't really have a story like off the top of my head. I don't know if there needs to be even a switch, like a heel turn or by anybody.
They had that moment at the end of the match where it was almost like Cody, kind of shook his hand or whatever. And it was, they talked back and forth there for a second while Seth was outside the ring. And
it just takes one promo from Cody not recognizing what Seth had to, Seth rolled the dice for Cody.
Yeah.
In the storyline, right? He came out, he had his back. Before anybody else came out and had his back, Seth had his back. Seth had to end up wrestling twice at Mania, right?
Yep.
Seth gets his back hurt, and he ends up losing to Drew McIntyre.
Essentially back-to-back matches, too. He wrestles the last match on Saturday, first match on Sunday.
Right? So might have a little bit. I mean, like I'm saying, it's simple as that. One interview where Seth isn't recognized maybe in the way that he should be sets him off. And
I thought I was your friend. I thought I was your.
I took the chances to get to make sure that you got that belt. And look what happened to me. I lose my belt. I get hurt. All these different things.
I get hit by a chair with Roman Reigns.
Right. So that makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense.
And I think it would be it's almost like that would be a really good storyline against a really good opponent to be that kind of first one for him. Because it feels inevitable that him and The Rock are going to meet again.
Yeah, very well.
I mean,
I don't know what Rock's schedule is. I don't know.
Well, The Rock cut a promo on that Monday night after WrestleMania and essentially said, I got to go away for a little bit, but I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
And me and you're going to meet again. So it feels like
right.
There's maybe something there. Or is that the heel turn? And all of a sudden they're...
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. That's the great.
But I think Seth would be a really good match. I think it would be a match for the ages to watch those two.
It'd be a great match. Yeah, it would be a phenomenal match.
And I don't know if you've talked about how like you always liked working with smaller guys just because you felt like the matches were there was just something different about that.
Yeah.
Unlike you with a person of your same stature, it can sometimes be not as good of a match.
You're right.
I don't know if Cody's wanting to work with bigger guys just because maybe he feels like the character's better with that underdog feel. There's maybe some things he can do, some things that they can do that really offset each other versus a Seth Rollins where it feels like maybe both of them have that kind of same skill set and same size.
Yeah, no, I think that whole issue, that's all a personal...
Yeah,
that's just a personal issue. That's just somebody taking exception to, something being said, maybe even accidentally the wrong way that kind of lights a flame.
I think it could be a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, type of.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, not comparing Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels to anyone.
No. I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. I think that's a compelling matchup, and I think they can have really good matches, awesome matches, and they're both good on the stick. They can tell stories. I think it would be. I'd be interested to see it.
It's going to be interesting to see how Cody is as a champion.
Yeah.
I mean, something he's wanted his whole life, and now you got it. Is there going to be and almost like a low moment? Because you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying there? Like, it's really exciting.
This transition is good. Yeah, the transition here over the next, few weeks is going to be really vital to the development of him as the champion, as a babyface.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm sure they've got the plan. I know where I don't know where they're going, but I'm sure they know where they're going. So
it's almost like you got the Heisman Trophy quarterback coming out of college, and he goes to the NFL, and that first year, it's like, oh man, he's struggling. Are we going to maybe see that with Cody as a champion?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there'd be that kind of a struggle. It's just he's going to need a little bit of a different mindset, obviously. But Yeah, I mean that's just a great part of being a fan. See how all this pans out. See if you sure don't want the Cody Crybabies regretting their nickname.
There was a guy outside the stadium. There was probably several of them, but there was a guy out there with a box of tissues, handing out tissues to people for the Cody Rhodes fans.
That's so good.
Yeah,
what else would you expect?
Yeah, that was amazing to see that. Did you you enjoyed the chase more than you did having the title, or you did?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's so rewarding to have the title and know that the company feels like you're the guy or whatnot. But for me, it was always much more fun getting right there and then figuring out how they're going to just keep it out of my grasp, and then continue to add to. Okay, well, you got away this time, so now we're going to go to a cage, and then the cage didn't work, so now we're going to go to the cell, and we're going to do these different things. But yeah, my character being what it was, it really never needed the title. Obviously, I'm very proud of my title runs or the number of times that I won the title, but it was always the chase.
I would imagine when you're a professional wrestler, you're in that locker room, what's going through your mind most of the time, I would imagine, is I want to win the title. I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. What part in your career did it become, I don't need the belt. I don't need that. I can look in the mirror and know that my spot on the roster and the people in the corporate, in the building there in Connecticut, they know who I am and they know what I'm doing and they respect me. The locker room respects me. The crowd cheers me just as much. I don't need that title. I'm not as worried now of trying to go get that title. When did that happen?
I think I was confident in that by 94.
Pretty early.
Yeah. I realized that the character was such a special thing that I knew I was early on, that I was an attraction.
Yeah.
Like you said, I was Andre.
Yeah.
In a sense, people wanted to see the entrance and and the tombstone and some of those things. That was what was the character, and the aura about the character was what was so cool. And it wasn't until I don't know, in the late 90s, I guess, then, that's kind of when I was like, you know what? I was considered, people would talk about, he's a great character, or he's great that character is so great. I think probably my ego got in there a little bit. Like, I want to be known more than just a great character.
Okay.
I want people to understand that I can go. And that kind of became part of my focus too. It was just something else to motivate me.
Yeah.
I felt like I had command of the character at that point. Now I want to have command of the character, and I want to give these good matches.
Yeah.
And so that motivated me. And especially after I did the American Badass run, which allowed me to work a little more and a little differently. And then it was like, yeah, I want to have the best match on the card.
Yeah.
Which, early on, it wasn't necessarily the most important thing to have the best match. It was the most important thing was to present that character the best way that I could, because that's what people were coming to see. They were coming to see that character.
So there was some progress there that you had, and just some, like, okay, now I've developed the character. Now what's that next thing?
Yeah.
And I think that gets lost with a lot of people, no matter what they do in life, but like they will set this goal out where I want to, in your case, I want to be the best character in wrestling. Well, once you achieve that, what are you going to be then? What's your next thing?
Right.
What if you achieve that in 3 months? Okay, now what?
Right.
And a lot of times they go, well, I'm the best character. I'm good. And just sit back and get lazy.
and you're lazy, you get fat, and the fat pig gets slaughtered, right?
That's right. So I think the one thing that Cody has going for him, that a lot of people that have been put in this position before that maybe weren't the right person to carry that torch for the company is he's got this fire in him that doesn't get extinguished just because he got the title.
Yeah.
I don't think Cody wants to be just a guy that wins one title. I don't think he wants to be a guy that is that one and done type of guy. I think he's got something in him where he does have this chip on his shoulder. And as much as he loves the fact that he is Dusty Rhodes' son, those are big shoes to fill, and a lot of people will compare him to that. I think he wants to be his own guy. And I think he wants to make his own.
I think that's really evident with what his, just his display of what he brings.
Yeah.
His dad was always in like denim cutoff shirts and jeans and a big belt buckle.
Yeah.
He's always dressed to the nines, man. American Dream, American Psycho. It's American Nightmare.
American Nightmare.
I'm thinking about chainsaws cutting
Here
up
comes
hookers.
the comments. I can't believe you misspoke.
I misspoke. I caught into the Psycho.
That's the wrong name.
Oh gosh.
God, Undertaker doesn't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't. I've been making it up for years.
He must have tied that ponytail a little too tight. That's fake on his head.
The fake ponytail's coming off right after the show. Anyway, the American Dream, American Nightmare. I mean, it's just
he's paving his own way.
There's connections, but there's a huge difference.
Yeah,
and I think that's very intentional on Cody's part, and he pays homage where homage is due, but he's trying to be his own man, and his own character, his own guy, and I think he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Man, I just keep thinking about him doing a heel turn and just turning on his dad. God, there's money there.
Yeah.
He stops doing the elbow, or he renames it, or something, whatever like that he does.
There's so much. There's so much there. People will just, they would lose their minds, right?
So
down south and down, in the Carolinas and everything. Dusty still.
They got statues of Dusty.
So there's a lot of different. There's a lot of tread left on that tire.
No, there definitely is, and I think right now where WWE is as a company, I mean, I think he's the right guy. I really do. I think that Cody is the right guy to carry the torch right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll soon find out. I mean, he's lined up. I mean, he's got a good look. He's good on the stick.
Yeah,
can work with anybody.
Yep,
that's key too. Being able to be able to work and have good matches with everybody. Doesn't mind the workload. So
yeah, and I think that's going to be key to carry the crowd for a long time with him. Is I think him showing up. You're going to see him whether he's in the ring or not. You're going to see him in the building at most events, at most TV. He's going to be there.
So. I would think so.
Yeah. Which is going to be a little bit different than what we have seen,
right.
From Roman. You want to answer a couple of fans' questions real quick?
If they're good. Okay. They're any of the bullshit questions. I'm not answering.
They've been pretty good.
If they're not good, I'm not answering.
If they're not good, okay.
I'm still in my water.
You may have. Well, you got a Happy Dad.
I guess I do.
Yeah.
Guess I'm drinking Happy Dad.
There you go. All right. So, talking about being in good shape, thanks to First Form, you're in better shape than you've ever been. Maybe.
Wait, somebody. Wait, what?
No. That's not the question. I'm just ad-libbing here.
You're
Because First Form, because the things about being in good shape. So this question comes from Walter Shannon. Hey, thanks for taking my question. What years do you consider your peak years physically? There were some years that you looked in particularly good condition and were doing some crazy things athletically, like He named off 96, 97, 98, 2000, 2003, 06, 07. What years did you feel that you were in peak condition? Keep up the great work. Thanks for all you've done. Oh, Walter Shannon.
What is that? About 6 years out of my 30?
He named off 7 years. Yeah.
7 out of 30.
He saw 7 years in there where you were like, man, this guy's in really good shape.
This dude is jacked.
And from 96 to 07, you were running pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, from 90 to 98 was real hard. And then
you needed a beer sponsor.
I downshifted a little bit for a minute. And, I think around 2000 to 2002, 2007, somewhere in there, I felt like, I think physically that was probably the best. Cause so when I came back in as the American Badass, man, I was really heavy. Like I intentionally big, and like I was just training to be big.
Yeah.
And then I ended up tearing my pec, right before I was about to make my return. I was like a couple of weeks from coming back. I had a groin injury, and I'd taken time off, and then I was about to make my comeback, and end up tearing my pec. And I remember going to the doctor and getting on the scale. I was 354 pounds.
Is that the biggest you ever?
Oh, I was shocked. I had no clue. I had no clue how heavy I was. Dude, when I went in for the MRI, I had to go in with one arm down and one arm up. The only way I could fit.
You want to talk about claustrophobia?
Dude, and I'm not claustrophobic. I passed on, they offered me a Valium to take, right, to calm me nerve. I said, man, I'm okay. I got this.
I'll take two.
I was so big that I was touching all the way around.
No, sir.
Anyway, so I'm in there, right? And I'm in there, I don't know, 30 minutes or however long it takes, and it's like, and I don't know. They said, so they get through with it, and they said, can you stay in there a little longer? Now I'm already sweating, right? Because when you start breathing heavier, it feels like it's constricting, right?
Oh yeah.
And they said we need to take it one more different, image of because I had tore the tendon. I tore the tendon from the muscle, and usually it's the muscle from the bone, or how the tendon comes out of the bone, and that's a easier. But I tore the muscle and the tendon, so they wanted to get 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes, man. I'm telling you, I was soaking wet. I was sweating so much. I'm not a sweater.
You are at 355 pounds. You're a big boy there,
brother. They pulled me out of that thing. I was like, whoa. But yeah, I was 354 pounds. By the time I came back to work, when I debuted the American Badass, I think I was 338 pounds. And I had never worked that heavy, ever.
Yeah.
I'd always been...
Could you feel a big difference in how you were moving and everything?
Yeah, when I finally got down, so I just kept whittling it down. But I really realized that like 290 to 295 was my ideal body weight, and that was what I was around 2007. I'd jump up to about 305 every once in a while, but
yeah. Where are you at right now?
I'm probably about 290 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel good at 290? Do you feel like you need to be a little bit less?
No, I feel pretty, my back, you know, I don't know that the weight's going to make any difference on my back, but you know, hell, I got metal hips and metal knees. Okay.
You can
I mean, you know, as long as they don't rust, I'm going to be all right.
keep you away from the beach.
Yeah, keep me away from the beach, metal detectors, magnets. You know, my daughter got her one of those big, thick, heavy magnets you throw in the rivers and the lakes.
Please tell me she put it on you.
She wanted to.
You wouldn't let her?
No, I didn't. I mean, this is like when I first got home from the hospital.
Oh, well, you were in a position to where she could have probably done whatever
anything she wanted
Yeah.
and been fine because I couldn't move really. But yeah, she was like, "Can I try this?" I'm like, "No, you cannot try this." Like, I didn't know those things. Yeah, I mean, those things they're strong. They're super strong.
Oh, yeah.
They pull my knee apart or whatever.
She wouldn't be able to get it off of you.
Right? That's like, come on, man.
For everyone out there that thinks that, you know, Mark rules the roost at his house.
Bro, I'm so down the totem pole at my own home.
Oh,
It's crazy.
I know.
That's why I was such a tyrant when I was on the on the road.
It's hilarious. You go over there and it's a bad. You don't know what Kaya's got lined up to mess with you. Cole's running around. Michelle's.
She didn't quite grasp. She didn't quite grasp the April Fools. Like, you know, April Fools is like you play a trick on somebody.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't. You know, we've been moving and moving into the new house and all that. Well, she found one of my old yearbooks.
Okay.
From high school.
Oh, wow.
And I had a friend in high school.
How big of a stone template was that? Was it just...
Look, just because you went to school like Little House on the Prairie where like all 6 grades were in one room.
You hold on, first of all, you act like Texas is like this different than South Carolina when it comes
It's
to...
a lot different. There's a big difference from like West Texas to a booming metropolis, the 3rd, 4th largest city in the country, Houston.
Well, I mean, you know.
I mean, come on, man. So anyway, so I had a friend who was a girl. Wasn't a girlfriend, but it was a girl. It was a friend.
Okay.
Anyway, she wrote me this long, full-page note. You know, had a bunch of very flattering things to say.
She wanted to be a girlfriend. It sounds like.
I mean, really. I mean,
Star basketball player.
I mean, yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
Just
anyway. Well, she
those
finds
red
the,
locks.
flowing red locks.
That was back whenever it was real.
It was
hair.
real. It wasn't this tie-on stuff back here. Anyway.
All right, your high school love.
Anyway, so she wrote me this long letter, right? And it was very expressive.
Yeah.
And, all these nice qualities about me. Well, Kaya just thought, she just knows mom.
Yeah.
And like me and mom are married. That's what she knows, right?
Yeah. She doesn't know anything else.
No.
Yeah.
So she's reading this, right? And she is just like, and then, this friend of mine, she called me Bo, right? Bo.
Oh, Bo.
Yeah, like D-Bo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So before we say anything else, it's kind of like Debo without the D on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have no D.
All right. So
all the Bo.
So anyway, she just thinks that this is the greatest thing ever, right? So on April's Fool's Day, I wake up and usually first thing in the morning I go get a drink of water, whatever. Yeah. I open the fridge, and there's the note. She's got it copied, right? And it's hanging in there. So from there, then I go to make a cup of coffee. Well, on the coffee machine, she's got the girl's picture.
She's got her picture.
Yeah, she got it out of the yearbook, and then they blew it up.
Yeah.
So I went from there. I go into my closet, get dressed, open up my drawer, get something out. There's the note again. I get ready to, I had to go into the office to do something, right? My desk is glass. So there's one. The note is on top. I take the note off, and then she had taped on the underside the picture.
Oh my God!
She had each drawer had a note or a picture in it.
She went all out.
Oh, she went all out. And then I go to work out, so I walk over to the gym. On the door, the glass door of the gym. There's the note. On the other side is the picture. This went on all day long. I had to go somewhere. I had my truck. My truck was full of pictures. And I'm just like, so of course, I'm like, you had help doing this, right? So wasn't me. I just ran. I may have printed some things, but that's about it.
Just whatever Kyle wanted.
So it's, I don't know. It's about 11 o'clock, 11:30 that night. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Of course, everybody else has been asleep for a couple of hours now. Go pull back the covers on my bed. The whole side of my bed is covered in pictures and notes. It's just a typical day at my house.
Yep. I get no
slack. There's zero slack given at my house. I am the recipient of all jokes and everything.
It's never ending.
It never ends. Never, ever, ever ends. And it's an 11-year-old. It's an 11-year-old girl who has.
Just wait till Colt gets a little bit older.
She's
going to teach all of this stuff to him,
man.
And then you're going to have a tag team that you've got to be up against the entire time.
Man, I may go back to work. Maybe there may be a lot of one dead man shows in the future.
Full tour,
and I will let you know we're going to be doing these daily now.
Yeah, it's going to be. You're going to have one dead man shows every week. You're going to have 8 podcasts coming out throughout the week.
We got off a subject, but we were talking about what great shape I was in.
Yes, what the years you were when you felt like you were in your best shape.
Yeah, so I think after about 07, I started snowball downhill. I stepped off the cliff after 07. It was after 07. It was a daily struggle to stay healthy.
Yeah. But I mean, and it had to get more difficult when you were essentially just working once or twice a year. It was probably even more difficult because you do get. I mean, being lazy is fun, and whenever you don't have to work out every single day, when you don't have to eat specifically something every single day, it makes it where it is a little bit. I can go to Whataburger today versus when you're going every day. Like you could go to Whataburger,
but you don't. Yeah, you
don't. Yeah. Or you're going to burn Whataburger off.
Yeah,
that evening, right?
You could eat it right after a workout. Sometimes you could eat Whataburger, but those last from. Let's see, I retired in. I bet those last 10 years, maybe more. It was almost set up like a boxer goes into fight camp.
Yeah.
I would back out. I would find out what date they were going to need me or for whatever. So say if it was either 12 to 16 weeks, and then decide, I would get with Harry, and then we would decide, okay, where do you want to be? Do you want to be heavier? Do you want to be lighter? Or, you need to lose weight. So then we would structure camp throughout that, that way.
Yeah.
And the big thing with all the injuries that I had was cardio. It's like I couldn't do road work anymore. So we had to come up with really interesting ways to get my cardio up, and we did, but it was not fun.
Yeah.
It was not fun at all.
I could imagine, and it's. I remember you were in Savannah for Valentine's Day that year, and that was the WrestleMania. You wrestled Cena in that really quick match or whatever. I know I don't want to bring it up, but I remember going to dinner that night, and you hadn't mentioned anything, but you sit down to eat, and of course, I'm looking at you and I'm like, man, their fried chicken here is amazing. It was at the Pirates House in Savannah, and it was like, I named off something that was just ridiculously like it was just nothing but trans fats and give you a heart attack. And you were like, I think I'm going to take the sirloin with some broccoli. Yeah. And I was like, what?
I think I had like a whitefish or something.
Yeah,
like
I can't remember what it was. It was very
you could
healthy.
You could smell like all the butter and everything that was in that room.
Yeah, it was so good. But anyway, you were like, I looked over at you and you're like, I might or might not be doing something in a couple months. Yeah, and I was like, okay, all right.
Makes sense.
So this is why you're not enjoying the fried chicken that they have here. That's unreal. But, well, you know what, Mark? We talked about Cody. Cody was kind of the main subject here today, but I'm excited to see what I'm happy for him. I'm happy where he's at. I'm excited to see what the storylines look like. I'm excited to see what his reign as champion looks like.
The table's set up for him. It really is. I mean, everything is calmed down. Everything's stable. He's almost got a laundry list of opponents. He's got the favor of creative and fan base. So it'll be interesting. And, I'm going to sit back and watch.
By the time when this podcast comes out, hopefully, WWE doesn't pull the WCW and have him lose the belt on a Monday night. Brock comes running out, spears him,
30-second match. And
takes the belt, and all the money's flushed down the toilet.
Wow. Man, you might have just jinxed him, bro. You
Yeah,
never know.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either. I think there's better people in place at the company right now that they're not going to allow that. Congratulations to Cody. Congratulations to you being back in shape and not being 355 pounds. That's a good thing. And thank you to Happy Dad for supplying us with some seltzers here, loosening up the big man over there.
I wonder if I can mix my Happy Dad with First Form. Would that be great? That'd be like I could be happy, healthy.
Yeah,
I bet that would fizz a little bit though.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then get the ignition put in there.
You'd be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would definitely need my sunglasses to go to the gym for that one.
Well, thank you, Happy Dad. Thank you, First Form. Thank you, WileyX. And if you would like to get yourself some 6 Feet Under merch, go over to 6feetundermerch.com. If you want to submit a question for the big man here, go to Patreon, 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
And remember, not all questions are dumb.
Not all are dumb.
Just dumb people asking them.
How many beers have I had over here today?
I had a different thought. I started with a different thought.
Yeah, and it changed on you.
Yeah, it changed on me halfway. So anyway.
So for those that just unsubscribed, those that didn't, please subscribe. And
I'm only serious. Just relax.
Hit the follow button. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.